children of God. Good morning. Yes, you are in Christ Unity. I know it looks different. I told you, I warned you. One day you're going to walk in and you're going to go, where is everything? And we moved it all around, and we did. As Christ Unity, our mission is to provide a safe and friendly place where you can learn to live the principles as taught by Jesus, find the fellowship and support you seek, be uplifted and inspired to allow the truth to express fully in your life. And we do that and begin it in prayer. Let's take a moment. O loving Father, Mother God, we acknowledge your presence moving in and through us this day. We take time to be open and receptive to your instruction and guidance. We give thanks for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, and in the power of the indwelling Christ. Amen.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our service this morning. Here at Christ Unity Church, our guests are always welcome, whether here in the sanctuary or on the internet, and we like to acknowledge our guests as first-timers, because after that, we hope you will feel at home with our church family. For those online, please drop us a note, and for those here in the chapel, please stay following the service for fellowship, so we can get better acquainted with you. If this is your first time at Christ Unity Church, please raise your hand. We would like to give you a welcome packet. Okay. And for those who are online, use the link of the page you are viewing the service. You bless us with your presence. Thank you all. Reading of the daily word this morning will be by Phyllis.
For Sunday, February the 15th. With heartfelt, loving intentions, I participate in new beginnings. Yesterday has receded into the mist of the past. With open heart and pure intentions, I am living in the now of today, forgiving and forgiven. Feeling the power and the gentleness of spirit, I'm committed to a life of love, meaning, and dedication. With a broad vision, clear mind, and a willing heart, I participate in new beginnings. Nothing can get in the way of my realizing the presence of God. Barriers of understanding are removed. Shoulds and coulds are released. I let go of old limiting habits and activities and embrace new ones of love, joy, and receptivity to life. With the newness of a day lit by the rising sun, I begin again. And from the Psalms, for 1,000 years in your sight, and like yesterday when it is past, or like a watch in the night, you sweep them away. They are like a dream, like grass that's renewed in the morning.
We are one with the one. And the way that we set that in consciousness, is to acknowledge the truth of us and to practice in prayer and meditation. So we're going to start with the acknowledgement. The Father and I are one. so, having acknowledged the truth of me, the truth of my being, I rest in it. I ready myself for new beginnings. I open myself to new beginnings. With each breath I take, I move to that place in consciousness that is my secret place, my inner chamber. Gently and easily I close the door. And move past the thoughts of what should have been and the thoughts of what comes next. And focus on the now. This oneness. The Father and I are one. And with each breath, I ask, and with the next, I receive. I receive that which is mine in this moment. All that is good is mine right now, and I claim it. That which I need is mine right now, and I claim it. And as I claim it, this renewal moves through me, around me. I am immersed in it. And I am wonder-filled. And I allow this feeling to move through me and come into this place where it joins with thoughts of like mind and grows in strength and in power and moves through us into our community, wherever that may be, into our country, into our world, and throughout our universe. And as I allow this feeling to move, I know that somewhere, someone is saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. For in this moment, that which you have sent, that notion, that idea, that feeling, is being received and gratitude returned to you. And the circle is complete. And in this holy moment, I look for opportunity to express and demonstrate in a new way and I hold that prayer as gently, easily, and effortlessly I bring my attention back to this room, to this now. And with this sense of renewal, from this place of wonder, we pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us, in this manner. Producing results. One of the biggest challenges that we have, and the one that causes us the most grief in our life, is this notion that I know this stuff. I know the truth of me. How come it's not out here? Why am I not getting the results that I think I should be getting? And it's such a simple answer. You can do it in one word, then we can all go home and watch football. Oh, wait a minute, that season's over. Never mind. The word is belief. The word is belief. See, when Jesus did his healing work, he didn't take anybody's pulse. He didn't hold his hand to their brow. He didn't focus on what was wrong at all. What did he do? Very simply and easily, he recognized the wholeness right there, right now. And the scripture tells us, and he healed all of them. Kind of a fun little thought. Not just the good ones. One day at synagogue every week and went to the wall on a regular basis. Made it to church every Sunday. No, all of them. See, because he recognized the truth of you and I that we live to this day. The truth of you and I is that we are always one with our loving Father, Mother God. We are one with. The Father and I are one. Is it possible in the wildest stretch of your imagination that God is ever having a bad day? I just can't see God having a bad day. It just doesn't work for me. I can't see God being diseased, ill at ease. That just doesn't work for me. Now, if my Father is none of these things, why then do I take them on? And the answer is, I have forgotten the truth of me. I've cut myself loose from the truth of me. I've chosen to ignore the truth of me. But the Father and I are one. If you want to produce results in your life, you just have to move it from here, through here, to here. Somebody told me the other day that the longest distance in the world, the furthest distance in the world to travel, is between the brain and the heart. You go around this planet 100 times, and it's a piece of cake compared to the work it takes to go from here to here. From your thought patterns to your heart, mind, and bring results. And that's what we need to learn how to do, is just get that distance down so that we live that place all the time. That's what Jesus taught. It's real simple. It's not difficult. It's not hard. Unless you choose it to be that way. I'm having so much fun making it difficult, I think I'll live there. It's so much fun being in pain all the time, I'm going to live there. It's so much fun having people go, oh, poor dear, that I'm going to live there. Oh, now there's a thought, isn't it? You see, sometimes we hold on to stuff because we like the attention from others, even if it's negative. Ooh. Oh, wait a minute, Rob. That can't possibly be true. Yes, it is. In lots of instances. I'm going to share one for you this morning. It happens, and it's just kind of fun when it does, because you catch yourself, and the more you learn how to catch yourself, the faster you get through it. This morning at 4 o'clock, 4:30-ish, give or take a couple of minutes either way, the power went out at our house. It was in the dark. Now, I had been up for just a few minutes before that, came back to bed, went, and I could hear the wind. I went, oh, isn't that sweet? And I went right back to sleep. Got up this morning. No alarm clock. Power's still out. Lynn called the power company. Yep, you're right. You don't have any power. We're working on it. All right? About 10 minutes later, she comes in. She says, I'm all dressed. Let's get moving. It's time for coffee. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. So I got up and I'm running around doing all this stuff. And I'm thinking, what's going on? And what was going on is my routine had been disturbed. On Sunday mornings, I wake up around 7. I like to watch the Today Show or whatever one it is. Not Charles Kuralt. Who is it this week? I can remember, but whatever. Anyway, it has a lot of good stories in it. Some I share with you and some I don't. And then follows with the political stuff, which takes me a good half an hour on the drive in to get over. But they disrupted my routine. Now, how absurd is that? Okay? Now, there was a time not that long ago in my life where it'd be Wednesday before I'd be over this. Or next Sunday. And they, the power company, would be getting cursed upon for the ne'er-do-wells that they are. Turn my power off. Oops! Where's my focus when I do that, right? So as we were coming in, Lynn's saying, that's exactly what happened this morning. This was a disruption in my day. How did I react to it? Was my reaction one of love and blessing? Oh, isn't it wonderful they're going to get the power back on? Which they did, I need to point out, before we left. Or is it something else? What do you do when something disrupts your day? What results do you produce when that occurs in your life? Because that's what we're talking about, is producing results. Oh, Rob, gee, I wish you wouldn't talk about this stuff. This is so hard. Give me a break. You just don't know how my life is. Yeah, I do. Just like mine. Just like mine. It's so easy to fall into patterns. Even good ones. Even good ones. Because when I woke up this morning, you know what I didn't do because the power was off? I didn't start my day in prayer. Ooh, that's not going to work. Took me a while to catch up and realize, oh, Rob, quit it. Well, settle back. Breathe. I said, what am I going to wear? Linda says, you can't turn the light on. I'm lucky I have clothes on at all. You see how we focus in on such little stuff? And we let it affect us in less than positive ways. The fun thing for me is this notion that I have learned how to quickly realize that, oh man, am I going in the wrong direction for me? That I need to focus on the truth of me. My power didn't go out. Nobody turned off my light switch. If I need to see in my closet, let my light shine. Duh! Wait a minute, Rob, you can't do that. Yes, I can. Here I am. Right? It just takes that thought process. We know now, scientifically, we know that everything begins in mind and in thought. Okay? We know this for a scientific fact. Finally, science is starting to catch up with theologians. See, in the Old Testament is where we first learned about this kind of stuff. That your thinking is directly related to your health and your well-being. When you live in a world of error thinking, what is the result? Ooh, not such good things. When you focus in on the truth of you and you work together with the knowledge of the oneness of yourself, what is the demonstration? Health and wholeness of the individual and of the nation. Of an individual and a nation. We just need to shift our thinking, get off this error stuff. That's all. Understand what Jesus knew. That within you is everything you need to demonstrate perfectly. Just change your thinking. Take that error stuff and get rid of it. What error stuff have you got working on in? Every one of us is a little bit different. And we think, well, wait a minute, the thoughts I'm thinking aren't error thoughts. Really? Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. The thoughts that you're thinking are not error thoughts. Therefore, your life is perfect. Those who have a perfect life, raise their hand. Behind me, I can tell. There's at least one. Oops. Okay, so now we can recognize that, all right, everything's not quite going the way that I think it should. Not quite in harmony. There are days when it isn't perfect for me, and I just need to get over that. All right, that's just error thinking. So I just need to cut back, look back, Start searching. Where is it that that thinking exists? I'll give you the one that I'm having the most deal of difficulty with, and I've had it for a long time. Because I keep hearing it, and I keep hearing it, and I keep hearing it, and it's based on an unbelievably false standard in my mind. How many of you are really, really upset about the number of CEOs that get bonuses? Why? Why are you upset about what somebody else has or has not? Why are you spending 30 seconds on what somebody else has or has not? What does it have to do with you? It has nothing to do with you. The second you go into there, you go into a world of lack and limitation. If they have, then I can't, or because I'm really well-grounded and well-rounded, somebody else can't. That's an error thought. You just cut off God from somebody, and that's not your place to do that. Ooh, now if you take it from that perspective, now you've got to rethink it. Now, I'm as human as the next guy. I think that sometimes I look at those numbers with the zeros after them, can't even pronounce it, much less see it. And that makes no sense to me. I mean, after all, how many houses can a person live in at once? That would be one. How many cars can a person drive at a time? That would be one. How many jets can they fly in at a time? Oh, that would be one too. Okay. But why am I concerned about how someone else lives? Why am I spending any time there at all? Why don't I bring it back home and say, I'm my own CEO. My Father will give me a bonus like you won't believe. The whole treasure. All of it. Gave it to Solomon. Nobody's upset at Solomon. Richest man in the world. We all thought, oh, what a great guy. What's the difference between him and somebody else getting a lot of bread? Nothing. Except how we think about it. Bring it home. Who is your source? Is your source limited in any way, shape, or form? No, never. Can't be if the Father and I are one. Now, if we're not, I think I found an error thought. I think I found a place where I've separated myself from the truth. I think I found a place in my consciousness that is upset how somebody else lives. I'm so worried about the splinter in his eye. I missed the log in my own. Bring it home. How are you living? Are you living the truth of you? See, because it doesn't have to do with money. It doesn't have one thing to do with money. You are a spiritual being. You are a spiritual being, as is every other individual on the planet. Recognize them for the truth of them, not the appearance. Where would we be? The story wouldn't be near so good if David took one look at Goliath and said, I'm out of here. Story wouldn't be near so good, would it? I'm not facing that guy. Here's this huge problem in my life. I am running away. Boy, that doesn't work at all. That doesn't even sound good. Okay? And that's what this thing is with all of this stuff out here. It's just a Goliath. And I'm inviting you to be a David. Be a David. Stand up to the challenge. Look it dead in the eye and say, this isn't the truth of my world. You are not in charge of my world. See, I don't care if you make $1 a year, which some of them in the nicest way because we're really good people say, I'm only going to make $1 a year and no bonus. And the guy made $80 gazillion last year. You really think he's hurting for $1 this year? Come on, give me a break. See, we live in that surfacey stuff. Come out of that. Bring it back to the truth of you. Bring it back to the truth of you. Is this the truth of me? That lack and limitation is the name of the game? Is this the truth of me, that there isn't enough for the world? Is this the truth of me? Is this where I choose to live? No. No. I just need to look at this and laugh. And laugh out loud and say, okay, my prayer, bring it home for me. And I'll share this with you and we'll close on this. In order for me to produce the results I want in my world, I need to change my thinking. I've bought into this notion to a degree of lack and limitation, and I quit. I quit. Now, for those of you who got wings, which is our e-sign that you can get online, you already know this. I quit. I quit listening to all the CEOs who are whining and crying about how they need a bailout. I quit listening to all the people who are objecting to how we're going to solve the problem of those CEOs who are whining and crying about getting a bailout. I quit looking at my world from a perspective of lack and limitation. I quit. But I need to replace it. It's not just enough to say no. Now I need to replace it. What do I need to replace it with? Here's what I'm going to replace it with. I know that the Father and I are one. I know that every want, need, and desire in my life that I am ready to receive is mine right now. And if I'm not ready to receive it, it's not going to show up. And that's on me. That's not on a bank. That's not on a government. That's not on the world. That's on me. And I'm bringing it home to me. If it's not demonstrating in my life, I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my thoughts about it. And I'm not going to live in that world of lack and limitation anymore. Then I have to. Give myself an edge, right? Absolutely. See, I recognize the truth of me. Am I going to live there all the time? Probably not. But I need to start right now with that. Right now with that. I need to focus on the truth of our world. There is always enough. There's enough money for every man, woman, and child in the world. If there's a way to distribute it, and I love this story, if there's a way to distribute it, there's enough money on this planet for every man, woman, and child on the face of the earth to have well more than $1 million. Okay? If there's a way to distribute it. Here comes the truth. Even if I found the way in 5 years, those that have will have more. And those that have less today would have less then. Because it's about thinking, not about money. It's about the truth of you. It's not about money. It's about your expressions in life. It's not about money. What would you demonstrate today? Demonstrate that. If you knew, and I used the word if there, and I don't like to use that word a lot. If you knew that absolutely every want, need, and desire would be fulfilled, no question, what would you want? What would you need? What would you desire? If you knew. The problem is that you don't believe that's true. Because all I have to do is look around me and see. Look what's going on in the world. How comes there's starving children in China that still haven't eaten my Brussels sprouts? Which I volunteered to send them. Okay. And as parents, whatever line you're using to get your kids to eat whatever it is they don't want to eat, okay? Why is that going on in my world? And it's just this notion, again, of the difference between here coming out of my head and going to my heart. As long as I choose to see that in my world, that's what will be in my world. As long as I will choose to live that direction. If I choose to live in a material world, I will see material things. When I choose to live in a spiritual world and come from the spiritual truth of me, this falls away. Do you really believe that Jesus didn't know what was going on in his world? Of course he knew. You think he was really happy about it? Oh, let's go applaud that we have slaves and masters and that Rome's taken over Jerusalem. Oh, this is a really cool place. I live in a desert. Right? See how the neggies we could throw down? He knew all of that. And what did he come up with? He came up with this. So what? I choose to live the truth of me in this moment. And he started with this truth of himself. I love me. Together. I love me. It's Valentine's Day. Yesterday, I'm my own Valentine. Together. I'm my own Valentine. Now that sounds so silly to say out loud, doesn't it? But it's a starting place. I love you. I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. In this instant, I see the Christ as you. And because you have spoken the word, you have changed your world. That's a guaranteed for results. Now you get something to practice all week long. All life long. Bring it into mind. Breathe. And rest. It is done. Namaste.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.